First of all, watch this video till the very end and you will understand how China is trying to undermine India. And the backdrop that I am in front of is Shanghai at night. And I wanted to deliberately use that to tell you that what shows as being a glittering place is not all that glittering. China has serious capital controls in place, which means they will accept any amount of incoming dollars, but they will not allow people to export US dollars, which means there is a serious shortage of dollars that they have. They still are admitting that their yuan doesn't go very far. They are completely dependent on US dollars for their import, their raw imports, which they in turn finish into products and then sell it back to the whole world. So these people are big on rhetoric. All I'm going to do in this deck is show you one misinformation handle and look at the kind of language they are using to portray India and the kind of abuses they are using at India. Unfortunately for all of India and Indians, you don't get to see this because this handle is banned in India. So what you don't see won't hurt you, right? Well, I noticed it because somehow it ended up in my Twitter line feed, and then I said, wait a minute, why is it so abusive? So I'm going to share with you some of the snapshots. This person appears to have been educated in the United States. So this is the other problem that US also needs to tackle, because lots of students are coming in and they are basically coming to learn the language so that they can go back and start scheming against the United States, against those countries that use English as their language or mother tongue. Okay, let's move on to what are the different things that this particular handle, just one handle. If there are 1,000 such handles, you can understand the amount of misinformation that is being spread. By the way, Op Sindoor, what India saw in terms of news articles and what the world saw 180 degrees apart. The world was led to believe that India has lost horribly and that India asked for ceasefire. So you get the idea. So this is the amount of misinformation that exists there. I just want to share with you one drop of what is happening in the world. Take a look at it and you'll understand how much work India has to do to counter this kind of nonsense. Here we go. Before we go further, please like this video, and if you have not already subscribed to this video, please do so. Will things change after Xi Jinping? Maybe a little bit, but not a whole lot. Some of them are convinced that they are a superior race. When was the last time we heard this? Well, it was when Hitler was in power. So the world has a huge problem, and the sooner China is shown what it really is, the better for the world. Let's see how these tweets are being put out. A tweet by a lady called 𝗤𝗣𝗍, and I'll show you her picture also. It looks like in her young 20s. Chinese propagandist. She glowed saying that China has built an entire division that does nothing but propaganda, PLA propaganda. This is the picture of the person, 𝗤𝗣𝗍, and if you go and try to look at that handle, right, you will not be able to see it from within India. That's why I'm actually capturing snapshots and showing you the kind of vitriol that has been poured. So this is the text of a tweet that she put out. This to me was the most offensive. A consensus has been reached in China. We will use every means short of war to prevent India from developing smoothly. See, these are all warnings for India. And I don't know if the NSA or the National Security Agency is able to get hold of, because if normal people are blocked from seeing this handle, so will the officers, unless they are using some sort of obfuscation software to get around the blocks put by the Indian government. Anyway, through economic and industrial methods, we can make sure manufacturing in India does not become competitive nor profitable. How are they planning on doing it? They are planning on limiting Chinese investments into India. Without our manufacturing ecosystem, Western companies cannot use India as a base. There is some truth to this. Because let's say if you take iPhone manufacturing, right? There are some very small, intricate components. There are also a lot of rare earths involved. Where will India get for all those things? They have to go back and import from China. So what this person is hinting is that we will prevent India from accessing these things. For example, there is a ban on rare earth minerals to India. So that is going to affect India's EV, perhaps a little bit of other industries also. Then also says that using the 𝗟𝗡𝗖𝗄 free trade agreement, we are going to prop up competitors who will make sure that India does not win. And these competitors will be very, very closely integrated with the Chinese manufacturing ecosystems. 2 or 3 countries come to my mind: Vietnam, Cambodia, and perhaps 1 or 2 other countries where they may be able to force it down their throat. Without manufacturing, the Indian population dividend will become a population burden. I mean, this thing goes on a huge rant. Somebody has really put through a lot of thought in trying to say, I'm going to use one tweet and I'm going to bang, 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 bang. Let's see what India has to say about it. So here are some choicy words. That India is not a friend of the global south, they are a stooge for the west. This after what the Chinese did to the global south. I mean, do you think anybody in Africa will believe this? But they got nothing to lose. These are just words, right? Just throw it out. If one person understands and agrees, then that's one person gained, isn't it? So these are the kind of vitriol that is being poured on India. This is just one tweet, by the way. There are many such tweets. They'll backstab anyone just to get a seat at the table of the G7 imperialists. This is what China has been trying to do. I mean, they are trying to make India a China. India doesn't do that. India doesn't care if they sit on the G7 or not. It's the G7 that should care. So, postscript. Why all methods short of a war? That's because most in China do not view India as a worthy enemy for our soldiers to risk their lives with. Would you bite a dog if it keeps barking at you? No. You get a stick and shoo it away. As a matter of fact, there is a picture of her having a stick and trying to shoo away. It just, crap after crap. I left out all that part because I can go on and on. There are many tweets of this lady and I just wanted to show you. Here they're saying, what do Hindus do to rivers in real life? Okay, I give you that this is probably an urban area where all the waste of the city has been given to the rivers. But let's take a look at the reality. 85% of flowing water in China, meaning river water, is not even useful for irrigation, leave alone drinking. Only 15% is useful. That same 15% has to be used for irrigation as well as drinking. And China has been so foolish that they got rid of all the sparrows in their country. So what that ended up happening was whatever be the benefit that sparrows got for the ecosystem, all that vanished. It is believed that in one famine they ate all their cows. They don't have cows. So you get the point here. By the way, this girl trolled us also, and I'll come to that in just a moment. Maybe I should wear it with pride. So India needs to clean up its rivers. That absolutely I am for it. But look who is talking. China, even in open rivers, they have contaminated it so much that they can't use it. Here is some more, denigration of India. Indians online are declaring they will boycott holidaying in Turkey and will choose Greece instead. And then she says, before and after Indian tourists, that once India goes, they leave it the whole place dirty. Well, you decide, viewers. This is the kind of crap that is being peddled out. This is on May 10th. How it feels to be neighbors with India. And then Indian Rafale pilot during Operation Sindoor, May 9th. On May 10th again, Pakistani eagles go and take out India, deleting their ability to launch wars of aggression is a favor to the entire world. 10th is when Pakistan suffered the maximum amount of damage, yet these kinds of memes were floating around in the whole world. Then, this is even more interesting, on 10th, after the ceasefire was announced, India bent the knee and many Indians online can't seem to accept this reality. They've been force-fed by the media that they are winning. In reality, they are going nowhere. Their missile stockpile was running low. India has very little ability to replace many of the weapon systems. At least they are running low on missiles. Your weapons don't even work. I mean, look at the cheek and the gall. I mean, they are only copying others' technology, and even when they copy, they do a bad job of it. It doesn't work. China's military industrial complex, its ability to sell its weaponry to abroad has completely collapsed. More than 10 countries want BrahMos and they want it today. I wonder why. Because it was proven that when the BrahMos hit, like for example the Noor Khan base, it was traveling at Mach 9. 9 times the speed of sound. Wrap your head around this, guys. Hypersonic is anything more than 5. BrahMos was supposed to be only supersonic, 3x. But how did it have 9x speed when it actually hit the target? That too, it hit a very precise location in the Nurkhan base that would create the maximum amount of damage. It's not just that, also in other places also, India chose its impact point very carefully and hit that point. So, but this all we all know, because India's DGMO shared all those pictures. Pakistan couldn't counter them. They were using game pictures to do it. And here is something more. March 8th, Hindu majority country is considered to be the rape capital of the world, depicts a Muslim. This is all deliberate, propaganda to egg the 57 odd Islamic countries to say that India is dangerous for Muslims. And many of them actually drink this Kool-Aid too, without checking their own embassies for facts. And here is the best part. On May 12th, after the whole Operation Sindoor, they take one statement by one of my guests. I don't remember which one of these 3 good generals. And he says that he would rather fight China than Pakistan because Pakistan makes better use of Chinese equipment than the Chinese themselves. Actually, this is an insult to you. See, this is the part. They have half-assed knowledge about how the language is being used. And they still go ahead and do it. So I am popular now. At least the Chinese misinformation department is looking at what I am putting out. So here is the conclusion. This is open admission that this is not just propaganda. It reflects China's active policy to suppress India's rise without direct military confrontation. And US will play along. Why not? India needs to be able to deftly deal with US at the same time also with China and pay back China in its own coin. But India, we are very inertial in this case. We don't really respond back with a meaty response in terms of having people go back and hit them back, especially in the 57 Islamic countries who are already beaten to death from all the scenes they see, whether it is Houthis or Hezbollah or Hamas or even Iran, where Israel is like bashing them left, right and center. And the only thing that binds them, only for the purpose of egging somebody else on of their own type, is the religion. They won't go and fight. They won't allow any other countries, Islamists, to come and stay in their country. So these are all hypocrites of the highest order, and this is the chief hypocrite. And as they are sinking, they are coming out with all these kinds of nonsense. India must treat this not as a random rant, but as a blueprint of Beijing's playbook against its largest democratic neighbor. This is not going to continue, guys. This is just one thing that I came across. And I don't need to go and look at 10 such handles to understand how much more obfuscation and vilification China is doing to India. It's up to India. Ball is in India's court. Decide what you want to do and how you're going to handle this. I've had several discussions with people who I've been gently telling them, you need to do this thing, you need to do this thing, and I haven't seen any response thus far. Well, will India respond in the way that China understands? I hope so. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.